Hey, what's up Team KBA? One Tech Traveler here, back again with another video in the Last Shelter universe. Today is going to be all about my personal heroes, the formations that I run, how their skill sets look like, as we are just about to enter our first Essex Eden Dissidia season. You'll find it here. Season X Dissidia is going to start past reset from now, so it's a perfect time to actually talk about the heroes that I have pre-Essex. We've also got there's also a preview of all the Essex heroes that are populated in the heroes section, and yeah, really excited to get things started. It's probably been over a month, it was mid-December, since we finished Doomsday season. So let's dive right in. Like always, join the Team KBA community by subscribing to my YouTube channel to see more awesome Last Shelter videos in my gaming playlist, as well as my tech, travel, and gear videos. You'll find my guides and articles on Last Shelter on my website, so check it out at onetechtraveler.com. Here we go. So this is going to be an interesting one and a good one, where I'd like to hear your thoughts, your comments on what you think of my heroes, their worth, and also if you have any other ideas of different combinations that I can work with. Always happy and open to hear your suggestions, and also how I should look at using my hero tokens and giving you my thought process of how I'm approaching these heroes prior to Essex. So these are the main guys that I'm running throughout all of my APC formation, including my defensive queue. In terms of formation, these are currently what they look like. So the main one that I'm actually running is Tech Priestess, a Vanguard Countdown in the first APC. The second one is the PIA formation, which is Panther, Anna, and Captain Ivanov. The third one is my Shooter formation, which is arguably one of my weakest. It's still probably better than my fighters in regards to seasonal heroes, but definitely there are far better shooter formations that I have out there, and just isn't really up to scratch. So the main ones that we're looking at are my top two formation. The first one is a makeshift Three Sisters, and if you don't know what Three Sisters looks like, check out one of my videos where we go deeper into that smaller hero pool. The other one being Farseer. What I've done is I've brought Vanguard to the back, and then also have Tech Priestess, which is also one of the best fighting healing heroes in the game, and then mix that with Countdown, who is my first max seasonal hero. Finally, my defensive queue is just going to be all up fighters, since I find Tech Priestess just running better in my main APC, even though it does slow that APC down. I kind of use marching acceleration, but also I've always found it work extremely well for me because of her healing ability and Vanguard's buffing of combat skill damage for Countdown. And I run that similarly with the PIA, where that one, even though their skill set is not opened up as much as my Tech Priestess, Vanguard, and Countdown, that one's just high synergy, high damage, high killing. So I like to run and use those twos in kill enemy, but also when I am in Doomsday or I'm coming to Eden, those will kind of be the main forms that I'm running, with the Tech Priestess, Vanguard, Countdown the one I'm more reliant on when it comes to tough APC formations, pretty much because my PIA is going to not hold up to a maxed PIA formation. But for my fighters, you can see I'm going for the tankiness, so I've got Destroyer on the front. Again, all the legendaries that you see are maxed. Shooterman, just to sort of give that offensive damage, even though fighters aren't really known for that. That's just going to help fighters to last the entire battle, and also deal some damage to reduce theirs down. Venom Walker, I like the guy. I've only got a single copy of him, so that's why I put him to the back, but he does have the healing recovery at 84%, which is good, and also the stackable like status effects of Cursed, Burning, and Poisoned. So again, those are just kind of just makeshift. I do have other ones here, and the seasonal heroes that are sidelined currently is Wings of Liberty, Shooter, the Executioner, Shooter, the Knight, which is a fighter, and then S1 Cincinnatus, which is also a shooter. So I've kind of got all of my vehicle APCs and the primary legendary heroes. But considering we are in seasonal hero territory, I've just not really bothered to upgrade them. For the shooters, I do mix in Wings of Liberty to the front for that auto disarm of 2 squads in the beginning, which is great for killing Doomsday tiles. But those are kind of the main hero aspects. Now let's actually dive into all of their skill sets and the tokens. So first off, going into SX, I have 2,460 tokens. So just enough for 1 hero, and then when Eden starts, then I'll probably have enough for 2 heroes by the end of it. Granted, I'm expecting that Season 4 heroes will be the token refresh in the shop, and then only after that, the first Eden season, then I expect the Senior Commander shop to open up. So I will have a chance of having 2 hero tokens, and so we can say we'll work with that. For the hero skill set, so for my PIA, again, even though these are nowhere near as completed, I've always still found them hugely reliable because all of the other stuff are pretty well developed, and then the high synergy of these two as well. So the first one up is Panther. You can see I've got 2 copies of him. I would love to go for the counter-attacking skill 8. Normally I always prefer that, considering I needed the destruction power to be over 500, and for the front you generally need that extra troop count to just protect the mid and the back row to do their damage for longer. Then I went for skill 6, which has served me well, but you can see he's still underdeveloped, so I need 2 more copies of him. Major Anna, she is the most developed in this APC and probably could be my second max seasonal hero, as I kind of want to bolster this APC formation well. Again, she's really amazing with her increase in battle speed, additional basic attacks, the chance of suppression from those extra basic troop attacks, and then also being able to remove any debuffs inflicted on our APCs, such as silence or suppression with this skill. So that's Major Anna, and she's probably one of the focus I want to save up my hero token for. Next one is Captain Ivanov, similar with Panther, but because he's a back row and a high damage dealer, you want to open up that skill 8 because that's just a straight up 80% damage, so it makes him so arguably one of the best vehicle back row damage dealers, or glass cannons as you will. He also is another focus for me. Pretty much the whole PIA formation I want to develop much better. Panther and Captain Ivanov, of course, would make that formation just much more damaging, but out of the 2, Captain Ivanov would be the second choice. So that's that formation. The next one up is going to be my makeshift 3 sisters mixed APC. So it's Tech Priestess. Like say, I was very fortunate with her being able to develop her well and just missing a single. So again, she's also a focus to really complete and increase like the effectiveness of this formation. Once you've sort of got the troops and the healing nanobots, then you can put her in the front row. If you only have her and then another copy, I would advise opening up a skill 8 and then putting her in the back row, something just so that healing is still able to take effect. But her best primary positions will be in the front or the mid row, that allows you to have a glass cannon at the back. Vanguard, she's a great support hero, and I really enjoy the synergy she has with Countdown, primarily from her quick reload, which guarantees the final combat skill in the whole 8 skill roster to 100%, so it will completely activate on 1, 3, 5 and 7, so complete 4 chances. And if it does require a 1-turn prep, then there is a chance of being able to skip it, but even if it doesn't, it will actively trigger it more often than without her. Also, that 45% increased skill damage is much better. You can see this APC is more geared towards combat skills, and then she has some evasion ability on the first 2 turns, so that also minimizes the damage that she could take from the second row. And then finally we have Countdown, who, like I mentioned, is my first max seasonal hero. She works really effective, a great high consistent and reliable kills and damage, She is nerfed with not having any basic troop attacks, but that's why I kind of run the two. There was always that Three Sisters formation and then the PI formation, who are both complete opposites. One is focused on basic troop attack damage and the other's on combat skill damage, which is here. This APC again works very well. I used to have Destroyer running sort of in the mid until I had a usable Tech Priestess to bring her to the front. After using this, even though it is slower and doesn't benefit from the buffs from the vehicles, her insane like healing ability and just having that fighter with more tankiness and HP attributes from the front allows Countdown to consistently pull off. So those are my two main APCs. When it comes to shooters, again, it's so you know, these are mostly running the legendaries with more tankiness on the front of Forsaken, the Inquisitor, which is just missing the 7th skill in the mid, and then a maxed Iron Guard here. It works pretty decent. Before I did used to run a Tech Priestess in this formation for the healing meta and the extra bonus damage. I've experimented with it, but generally it's just not a formation that holds up well. So it was probably a good call I didn't have the 7th skill open up for Inquisitor, even though I like the guy. His mass, like a disarm and a spread of damage, has been cool, but shooters, I haven't had much luck drawing them, even with Deus Ex or Hummingbird. So definitely in SX I'll be looking to make that upgrade for shooters. So right now definitely more vehicle driven, but I just leave it in my APC and sometimes have a garrison, most of the time not. And then the last one was just that makeshift vehicle APC, having Razor, who generally is very flexible across the rows. His skills can sort of pop up from anywhere. So I'm having him in the back with Reaper in the mid as more of your offensive mid-row hero. So there's not really much going on onto the support or counters. That's all pretty much from Caesar. So I have him at the front. Could put him in the mid, but you know, to be honest, I'm not really thinking too much of this formation. A lot of people also say Caesar can be a replacement for Panther in the PIA, but again, I really like Panther's splash damage and counter-attacking ability, whereas Caesar is just more of a debuffing sort of hero, especially with his skill 8, which is a straight up like might resistance, combat speed, damage taken, damage dealing reduction. So if I had him opened up, that would help. And I like how he has kind of an overlay of 2 counters, which is the disarming of troop attacks, but also the chance to silence for 2 turns, which is really good, and that's also for 2. So if both of them pop off, then he does really well as a front row to sort of nerf the enemy. But at this state, is probably better off just staying there until I can get more copies of him. Saying that, I did mention that S4 was going to be the next rotation in the token shop, so sound off in the comments which one you think I should open up first, whether that's Panther or that is Caesar. Be good to hear your thoughts. However, my sort of thinking, even though I know Panther is going to be superseded with SX heroes, you know, I'm pretty much saving all my tokens, all of my tickets for SX, which means that for the tokens, and if I obviously get Doomsday coins and stuff, but you know, our results haven't been going well, then I'd kind of want to open up Panther's counter-attacking, max out Major Anna, and then Captain Ivanov's Awakening. So that's already 3 there, and then finally it would be Tech Priestess. Vanguard, I'm okay waiting for opening her up later on. The others are just far more potent with unlocking their abilities. And obviously if I get Tech Priestess Resistance, then, you know, that would be pretty much a near maxed formation. So I'd rather focus on Tech Priestess for that. In the 3, probably Captain Ivanov, although a Major Anna will be great just for the additional might. So yeah, maybe Major Anna, and then Awakening Captain Ivanov, and then the Panther. So we'll have 2 sets of hero tokens by the end of the first SX season. Which ones do you think I should go for first? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that is my pre-SX hero formation across all of the 4 seasons. I did have season 1 before, which was Jackson Janissary. However, season 1's just, you're better off not working with them. They definitely fall off the charts with a few, maybe like Cincinnatus, to a lesser extent, but more the professional and Warboss later on. But future season heroes definitely are the ones you want to focus on, so I'm not too worried about that. These guys, Ana is kind of just more fleshing out my defensive queue to go alongside Venom Walker, but to be honest, her and Executioner are largely forgettable. Wings of Liberty, actually, he is pretty good, but again, he's down the pecking order simply because I lack any shooter synergy and you know, competitive formation, so I'd rather focus on the others. So that's so yeah, that is my hero set. And to wrap up this video, I know it's quite long, but yes, here we have the full set of SX heroes that popped up, and means we are pretty much ready for Eden and the new sets of heroes to focus on. So really excited to get my articles and doing the videos on each of them. My idea of approaching SX heroes, because there's so many of them, that's I believe 22 for 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So there's 24 heroes in SX, and that is including the 2 recent ones, which are Prophet and the Huntress, as well as having Scarlet Siren, Predator, who's actually used to be called Tracker. I do prefer the name Tracker. Don't know why they changed it. Maybe because they're going to release a hero called Tracker. The Shadow, Rose Noir, and Gluttony Cannon Nest. Like, those are kind of the additionals to SX heroes, which meant there were like 15 possibly original SX. Maybe those who are already in there can sort of correct me on that. But again, an amazing array of SX heroes that I'm currently diving into to understand. And we are going to be making another video on them when SX is live, so we can talk about each one of those. But for now, I would probably rate my pre-SX hero formation, I would probably say it's 7.5. It's not bad, actually. Again, I do have a pretty good high synergy set of heroes, primarily with PIA, Panther, Ana, and Captain Ivanov, and then also having well-developed Vanguard and Countdown from the 3 sisters, and then also having a Tech Priestess really set up. So I think it's going to put me in a good stead for Eden. Not going to be the most competitive, but definitely above average, I believe. With everything else of having gold parts, the only downside is I don't have Baneblade. But hey, you know, I'm just working on the free natures, and I'll talk about Baneblade in another set, in another video of how you can develop that both for free-to-play players and then also packages to accelerate your Baneblade production for people who spend. But yeah, I think 7.5 definitely in terms of depth is pretty good. That's kind of where it stopped being an 8, because outside of my 2 APCs, the others aren't as solid. Like, I don't have a really high solid or running 4th APC, and then like I say, I lack a properly complete fighter APC, just still running legendaries in the mix. But I'm still pretty content with it, to be honest. I look at the, you know, how the 4 seasons have gone and the heroes that I've been able to pick up, especially strategy with hero tokens, trying to work on that organically, then that has been really good. So that wraps up my pre-SX heroes that I'm running. Again, sound off in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks a lot for joining me, Team KBA. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, keep being awesome. Peace.